Well, believe it or not, at one point, your favorite comics sucked.
Everybody's arms are crossed.
At the beginning, we're all supposed to suck.
Yo,
Got my one-liner.
what's more American than failing?
Feel my weekend gig has turned into a one-nighter.
I thought the set went well. Yeah.
The tables in the back are digging my dick jokes.
That's what comedy's about, man. It's about bombing. And I was like, no, it's not. Like, that's not what you want.
They give me the sign, I give them my closer.
I'm just over 500 with good shows versus bad shows.
Just enough to get in the playoffs.
I hit the punchline.
All right, this is a good episode.
Fuck it.
Long story short,
He failed. God damn it. Yes,
Wait.
misery loves company, my boy.
thanks for coming out. Boom.
Thanks for coming out, baby. Thanks for coming out.
Hey.
Thanks for coming out. Are we under attack?
Thanks for coming out. Fuck, that bad?
Thanks for coming out. Well, man, thanks for coming out.
Yeah. Oh, that was unprofessional.
Thanks for coming out, ladies and gentlemen. The bomb is the bomb. Hey, everybody. Shuli here. Before we get started with this episode, we just want to let you know you may hear a little bit of background noise as our guest was at his day job. And so, we tried our best to work around it. It's not through the whole episode. There'll just be parts. So, chill out, dude. For real. Not everything's a cause. Stop protesting us. It was one episode. All right, we love you. Thanks for coming out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Thanks for Coming Out. This is a special one.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
You heard the origin story, and in the origin story, we talk a lot about a gentleman by the name of Michael Potter. And Potter to us is a comedy god. He is a hood ornament of wackiness. He is the guy that you can throw any idea to, and within a matter of minutes, he's killing with it.
Just goes with it.
One of the most talented people
Fearless.
I've ever met. We started together. We're still friends. My man's out in Missouri, and we are all over the place. But we couldn't do this show without talking to Potter and talking about Potter. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Thanks for Coming Out, our man, Michael Potter. What's up, buddy?
Pew, 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 pew. Hey, how y'all doing today? There's so many memories, dude, looking back on those Vegas days. I remember when I met Shuli, it was at Davey O's open mic.
Davey O was a hairstylist out in Vegas and ran an open mic that started at 10 and went till 2, 3 in the morning.
It's still going on now.
Yeah.
What did he call his hair salon? Was it Little Off the Top, I think?
Curl
Is
up
that what
and
it was?
die.
Curl up and die.
Curl Up and Die. And it
Also was in a
involved,
ZZ Top cover band called ZZ Toppings.
Yes.
and he combined scissors with erections, and all of the hair cutters wore lingerie.
Let me.
I didn't know that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me.
Nice country.
Yeah. Let me jump in here and say I met him there for the first time, but the first time I really met Potter, that we know him as, was at the open mic that I was running at Honest John's,
Which we've discussed is in front of Naked City, the worst neighborhood in Vegas.
It's basically if you went to a Greyhound bus station
pretty much.
and opened and started an open mic. And so Potter brings in a keyboard, he brings in a bass guitar.
He's to bring in all this shit.
Right?
yeah.
And he's on the list. So he comes to me and he goes, and we don't know each other. And he says, listen, he goes, at one point in the song, I need you to stand by this speaker and just make sure that I don't remember what he told me. He goes, but I just need you by the amp. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. And this fucking guy goes up there and he's doing this song called The Horse.
Sundrops and Daisies. Oh, it was the horse.
Right.
No, it
The
was
Horse.
The Horse. And
It's
it's this dark, like 9 Inch Nails, like
Industrial,
creepy song that at one point he hits the demo button on his keyboard. And can you turn that down a little bit, buddy? And he turns the demo part on the keyboard.
or send an ambulance, whatever comes first.
Potter's working. And it
It's
breaks
Paula-
into
Paula Abdul.
yeah, it goes and he starts dancing like an idiot on stage. I'm standing there watching, going, what the fuck is going on? And then it goes right back into the dark music. He picks up this bass guitar. He starts fucking just creating the loudest. And he looks at me like, all right, I need you by the amp. I come running over by the amp.
Yeah.
He drops the bass. He hits all the strings. He drops it and walks off stage.
and I can't tell you how loud this was.
It's like a kaboom.
Like a kaboom, and it just keeps reverberating. And like an idiot, I'm still standing by the amp waiting for some signal from this fucking asshole. I don't know what I'm waiting for.
So you duped him?
And yeah, he totally pranked me. And after like 30 seconds, I just unplugged his shit. I'm just like, okay, I can shut this off now. It was the funniest thing.
An old 1985 foot pedals. There's like 5 foot pedals on one guitar thing. And if you crank all the knobs up full blast, it will reverb infinitely until you shut it off.
Yeah. And I'm just standing, and he just left. And it's just this fucking wave of noise that nobody can shut off.
Oh my God. It's so punk rock. So Potter, when you got in, so when you started doing comedy, what got you into it? Like, what were you like? It sounds like Kaufman, but was it a Kaufman? What made you do the type of things that you did?
I've always wanted to do comedy, but in Sedalia, I never had a chance to do it. So I picked up one of those little newspapers in Vegas, that tells you where everything's going on at.
Yeah.
And I remember the date. It was August 3rd, 1997 was my very first comedy show. And it was at a coffee shop in that little area, not where the Freakin' Frog was at, but across the street from that area. And it was a coffee
like Cafe Roma.
By UNLV over there.
Cafe Roma. I think it was Cafe Roma. And Sam Tripoli, all these guys are huge now. Sam Tripoli was there. Mark Hatchell, Keith Healy.
Wasn't Stanhope around?
Pyro Pete was a mentor to all of us.
Yeah, pretty much. Like everyone opened for Stanhope. Oh, I got a great story with the Stanhope bombing at the New York Steakhouse. You remember that crap hole?
I don't remember.
No, I remember hearing about the New York Steakhouse.
But that was my first gig. Was at that coffee shop, and the first words out of my mouth were, "My name is Michael Potter. If you smell something funny, that's me because I'm the shit."
I remember that line. You used to do that line.
I was in that whole circle from there on out.
That's all it took. That's your opening line. And that's like, I'm Chevy Chase and you're not. That was your moment.
But it's also the look. It's the look on his face. He's so deadpan. And one of my favorite jokes of Levy is don't do drugs. Look at me. I'm 29. And it makes me laugh because there's a part of him that believes that, right? And it sells that way on stage. And Potter doing that, you smell something, that's me because I'm the shit. He believes that, and he is the shit. I used to love, remember the joke we used to do together at the Greek Isles where Potter would pretend to be the sound guy who's never done stand-up before?
I was there for plenty of those, and it was spectacular.
Yeah, Mikey was his name. And I would intro him. And this was the coolest thing about the Greek Isles and the fact that we would be in front of 12s of people at night is we could experiment. We could have fun with it, and we could fuck around.
When Sandy wasn't there, yes, and you were running it.
Which he was never there. So he comes out. I go, guys, he's our sound guy. He's never done stand-up. He wants to try it. Put your hands together for Mikey. And Potter would come, and they would be laughing before he even said a word. And one of my favorite jokes is he would go, how many spider monkeys does it take to screw in a light bulb? And I from the back, I would just go, 4. And he would just wait. And then he'd go, that's correct.
That's correct.
And then just move on. He wouldn't say why 4. He just moved on.
What people don't realize is he actually was doing sound at the Greek Isles for a while.
Yeah.
And so before he would do these sets as the sound man doing it the first time, I wish the audience would have seen how he would get backstage. He wouldn't walk through the door like the rest of them. He would climb down from above and go, all right, guys, I got 10 minutes. I can do the set. He would actually come down a fucking ladder.
He'd be above us. He'd be in the catwalk above us, yeah, because he's running from one stage to another.
He was on a scaffolding the whole goddamn time and then comes down and does 10 minutes. How many carrots?
Yeah, he'd do like Christian Bale in The Dark Knight. He would just rappel down from something and then rappel back up, and we'd never see him again.
I remember when we performed at the Greek Isles, and I had Shuli run sound one night. And I wanted him to play a song, and I was, let me start off by telling you a little bit about myself. And this song was supposed to start with like light piano or whatever. And it first starts, and then it shuts off, and I go, and I like starting things without finishing them. And then just kept going on from there. And we used to have this bit where like this next comedian coming to the stage is not only a comedian, but he's our sound man. So I'd go out on stage, but the sound would keep going for about 2-3 minutes.
The sound man's not there to fix it.
Full speed backstage to shut off the sound. There's no sound man. That was an ongoing joke.
The other thing I loved is seeing the reaction from Sandy to Potter when Sandy would see Potter perform, which Sandy loved Potter, but Fats Johnson, the other comic that was there, you talk about not getting it. This guy never understood Potter, was never a fan of him. He was nice to him, but he was just like, I don't get this shit.
Well, everything. He's one of those guys where comedy and other aspects are like this too. There's athletes, there's musicians. Whatever it was when you came up is what it should be forever. He's like a 56-year-old man. He was in the coffee shops with Steve Martin and Lenny Bruce and all that. And so for a guy to do a goddamn, I'm going to turn the music off 2 minutes into my set is crazy to him. And to do these characters, like, why don't you just ask people where they're from?
And Potter never was intimidated by him. He didn't give a shit. Potter was just Potter and just
I had
did
the sound man attitude. I was like, if he's mean to me, I can make him sound bad. And he knew that.
You could give him a receipt.
Well, you remember the prank we did on him, right? With the when he would come in, I would host, and he would go gamble for 15 minutes and then come back and do his set.
All the time.
Same set for years.
And you did all his jokes.
Well, Potter says to me one day, because something happened and Fats pissed him off, and Potter says, you should do all his non-guitar jokes.
Well, that's so right. Yes.
Because he gives a guitar act too. So all the jokes, which we all knew because he never changed them. And what's funny about this bit is when Fats would do well, he would be angry at the audience. So we were like, he's going to do so bad. He's going to be so mad at these people. This is going to be phenomenal. And I did as many of his jokes as I could remember. And I get off, and I literally finished his last joke, and I hear the door open. Then he came back, and I'm like, yes. And you
buried him.
Dude, Potter and I were backstage. Our arms are over our mouth. We're running out the door. We had to laugh so hard, and we couldn't because it was silence in the showroom. Nobody was laughing.
Did he ever figure out why?
No, we never told him.
Were you scared if he found out what would have happened?
Yeah, but I knew the audience was more scared of him because at one point he's going, what did the Lawrence Welk bus break down outside, you morons?
It's because his theory of this act works all over the world. So if you're not getting it, guess whose fault that is?
That was his speech. That was his speech
every time.
Yeah. Listen, you'd have like two jokes fall flat, and he'd move the guitar to the side, and he'd go, "Listen, this act works all over."
I'm gonna do that tonight.
Meanwhile, he never left Vegas.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's talking
20
about.
Years.
But yeah, he. Remember when he would like try to talk to people? His crowd work was terrible. There was like,
we didn't understand people.
He was old, so he didn't have filters. This guy's in the, his name was Fats Johnson because he used to be really fat and he lost a lot of weight. So there's this heavy set guy in the audience one night. And he's going, you remember this? He goes, he does a joke and he goes, hey, by the way, come see me after the show. I lost 340 pounds. I could give you some tips, help you out. Otherwise, you're going to die.
Yeah.
So who here's a fan of Johnny Cat? And it just
Well, that's my favorite. You bring up Johnny Cash. The last time I worked with him, last time I saw him, it was like a week or two before I moved out to New York. And we did State Line, which was an older audience. And it took me forever to get decent. I got decent enough where they had me fill in for the host, who's this guy, Jack, who looked like a burned out professor from Berkeley.
I remember Jack.
I fill in. I bring up Fats. Fats is an intro. So Fats was in a medical facility with my uncle, my great uncle.
He lost
months.
a leg, right?
He comes back. He goes, I go, Fats, what do you want me to say? He goes, tell him he's been gone a while, but he's back. And it's like, that's nice. Be like, they don't fucking care, Fats. They don't know who the fuck you are. This is crazy. It's not like you're Sinatra and you had to go take care of your kids for a while.
Tell him my leg's gone and it ain't coming back.
So he comes out. He's got the guitar. Walk the Line had just come out. Big hit about Johnny Cash. And he goes, who here likes Johnny Cash? Who saw I Walk the Line? Place erupts as much as they can. And he goes, all right, well, I'm going to do a Johnny Cash impression. He strums the guitar and goes, hi, I'm Johnny Trash. Like he's putting Johnny Cash down. The whole audience turned on him. The set Never recovered. He never. He thought he could make
We had on property.
He just applauded the movie that's been made of.
You're telling me that his version of Walk the Line changed to Jerk My Twine didn't kill?
That's right.
If you're feeling fine, come and jerk my twine. It was
Is
about
that unbelievable or what?
a twine belt he had around his waist.
People were disgusted.
They should be. It was gross.
This guy would sell so many CDs, though.
Yeah. Well, he would say, because our audience was all his age and older. So they actually knew the group he was a part of. They didn't know him. They knew this folk group that he was a part of called the New Christie Minstrels, which I don't know if you ever saw that Christopher Guest movie, A Mighty Wind. But the band in that movie that is like the biggest band with like 20 people, that's supposed to be the New Christie Minstrels.
With fucking fats.
Yeah, but yeah, that was, he's like, we won an Oscar for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And it's like, you didn't win the like, if Fats had an Oscar, it'd be around his neck on a chain. God. I swear to God.
Be around his dick.
So yeah, but he was one
of
these
stock line shutdowns for the crowd. It was like, you guys together, I got news for you. You can both do better.
Oh my God.
Remember,
we should get Potter to do his act out here.
Yeah. You should do Slaps Johnson.
Slaps Johnson. We're going to book you to open.
And after every song, you just smack yourself in the face. Like,
Didn't this get Potter. Like a fake beard, and I puffed up my shirt, and I went on as Fats Johnson one night. I think
you did.
Oh, that's right.
Our Sunday open mic we ran.
You remember his lecture to us about dressing up, Potter? Remember he used to tell us, he'd go, look at you. He'd go, you got to look like you're not supposed to be sitting in the audience. You're supposed to be on stage. He said, look at my shirt. Look at my guitar. It's shiny. You know why? Because they're retards. Retards love shiny things.
He actually said that to you?
Yeah, he would dangle his keys and he'd go, retards love shiny things. Remember, Potter?
Oh, my God.
I remember it was right after my hair got cut and I was doing the Tri-Hawk bit, and I would still go to the Greek Isles with these Liberty spikes. Like the first time Fat saw me, he did not know what to think of that at all. It was like,
and that's Potter. Right? I go to pick up Potter one day to go do an open mic, to go run one of our open mics, and he opens his door and his hair is cut in a Tri-Hawk, 3 mohawks. Hawk from the Road Warriors had 2, Potter had 2, and then 1 down the middle. Yeah. And I look at him, and within 20 seconds, I look at him and I go, you have to go on. ECW had just closed down. And I go, you have to go on as an ex-ECW wrestler.
Looking for a gig.
And within 2 hours, he had one.
Tri-Hawk.
He had one of my favorite bits of all time.
We both wrote on that act. The Shuli came up with the tagline, "That's just weird."
Yeah, I said you have to have your jokes have to be a promo cadence with a tagline.
So great to be. And then I had to go, and the old lady came in, and I smacked her. And that's just weird. He would put his hand out and sell it like he was some Shakespearean actor.
He had 2, and we're gonna do a bonus episode another day because Potter sent me video. We have video.
I can't wait.
At Boomers Arm Wrestling Nation. You remember?
Oh,
huge dude. The start of the bit is hilarious, and it so wouldn't fly now, but it's so funny. We had. Our good buddy Nation was there every week when we did open mic.
Awesome dude.
With who's his other buddy?
Nation's brother Manny was a comedian,
right?
And they had a third
exactly alike.
And then there's
guys confused.
And there's a guy named Paul. That was the third brother. We called him Prince Paul because of the great hip hop producer.
Yes, and all 3 of them would come out, and so Potter says. Potter sets up this whole bit. I don't know what's going to happen. I just know he's going to challenge someone to arm wrestling, right? And Potter comes out in a bell-bottoms 2-piece suit, vest with bell-bottom pants, corduroy, I think, or some fucking.
He wore a lot of corduroy.
He wore flammable shit every day, and he comes out with a luchador mask on, and he says, "I challenge somebody to arm wrestle, and if you defeat me, I will take off my mask." And without missing a beat, he just goes, "I want the biggest, blackest motherfucker in here." and Nation stands up, and Nation is huge.
Nation was no joke.
That's why he got his nickname Nation.
He's big as the Nation.
And everybody in the audience is like, "Oh shit!" And the arm wrestle, and he throws Potter across, and it's the funniest thing ever. Potter takes the mask off. He's in the Tri-Hawk, and he just goes, we fucking rehearsed this earlier. And it's already, people are dying. The bit hasn't even started yet. And he's telling stories. And then he added his own tagline before. That's just weird. He would just go, with my dick.
That's right.
Yeah. And then he'd go,
Weird.
that's just weird.
Got
And
me
he would
all out there like freaking ice cream. That was it. That's just weird. And then I got the crowd to start saying it. I would hold the
They would
mic out.
chant it back. They would chant it back. That's just weird. That's just weird.
It was amazing. It was and it's literally you see the guy, you go, you should do this, and he would go up and he would do that. The only times I've seen him bomb has been when he's gone as Michael Potter.
Yeah. I think
When
that's
he
why
goes
I
up and-
stopped going on as myself. I got bored with it. And
Yeah.
remember, I would get really depressed after shows, after bombing. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, let's just be someone else completely. Same exact jokes, just different characters.
And he
And
literally
that's how that
would
whole
do,
thing evolved. Yeah.
yeah, he would literally do a different character. He'd take the jokes he did for a different character and change one or two words on them and use them, and it would work.
Yeah.
On paper, you go, this can't work.
You can't do the same act
And he
as
did
6
it.
different people.
He did it 6 different
It
ways.
was unbelievable. Yeah.
It was unreal.
Yo, you know what I love? Though, we're gonna stay with Tri-Hawk. Do you remember we acted out at Boomers? That was like our booked open mic on Sundays.
Yeah.
And we all were like the host. You and I would host, but
Yeah.
it was all 4 of us. We had another member, Jason.
Yeah.
And we this was the best. We did a whole like scene in a match between you and Jason played, of course, because he was an angry man. He played and wanted to antagonize people. The cunt of Monte Cristo.
That's right.
Shuli dressed as actual pro wrestling announcer Mean Gene Okerlund.
That's right.
He wore a ball cap
Yep.
and was perfect with a jacket.
Yep.
I played, I believe, Potter's manager,
I think you were Potter's manager.
Johnny Coco. I wore a Hawaiian shirt, which wasn't too much different than how I dressed anyway. And we did a whole fucking bit for like 20 minutes
Yeah.
of a match.
Yeah, and it ended. It went to a joke off where Tri-Hawk and the cunt of Monte
The
Cristo
cunt of Monte Cristo.
were in a joke off, and Tri-Hawk was about to win it, and someone blew powder in his eyes.
That's right.
And Tri-Hawk could not continue, and the cunt won.
'Cause
I remember I had to keep that bag of flour in my waistband, and it wasn't even a Ziploc bag. It was just one of those regular sandwich bags. So I had to just move real slowly because I knew I had flour. If I messed up, it's going to go all over the place. we would spit ideas at each other before we went on stage. I remember Jason had an idea. He's like, all right, how about this? I'm going to go out there. Mad Dog is going to introduce Jason and Potter, and then we don't go on stage. And it's me and Jason and I are backstage. Jason's shirt's off. He's got a little military hat on. Me and Shuli went to the female department. I had these little tiny Daisy Duke underwear with rainbows on them.
Oh my God.
remember
My shirt's tied in a knot, and you just hear backstage. It says, oh. Bad Dog's like, what's going on back here? And reveals the curtain. The crowd just goes freaking nuts, dude. And it's just Mad Dog guilting me and Jason about
Having
the
gay sex before the show. Yeah. It was
Oh my God.
It was ridiculous. And a lot of times we didn't even have a crowd. Like we barely had an
4
audience.
people, and 3 of them are comics.
Right.
Yeah.
And it would never stop us because we knew this was one of the few stages we could go on this week, and we weren't passing that up, crowd or no crowd.
Yeah, you always do it.
Yeah. Did
I
you
would never
do
change my act up, even if the crowd wasn't there. It was
No.
I remember one of my jokes was, so there sure is an awful lot of hot pussy out there tonight, and it was one 65-year-old old lady in the audience. Remember that? There sure is an awful lot of hot
Was
pussy.
that a Greek guy? No, you wouldn't have said pussy at
It
Greek
was
guy.
boomers. It was
At
Wait.
Boomers, it was a 65-year-old woman.
We
What
gotta
up,
tell
everybody? Want to talk to you about our sponsor on Thanks for Coming Out. I know these people well. They are an amazing company. They are out of Iowa, the best friggin' corn-fed Midwest beef you ever had in your goddamn life. Rustic Cuts, my friend. Don't worry, they got grass-fed too, if that's how you roll. They got it all. Ground beef, steaks, burgers, sliders. It never ends. And every single thing they have is delicious. I've tried it all. And you don't have to be locked into buying these big packages. You can pick whatever you want from their website, rusticcutscb.com. That's rusticcutscb, like cbradio.com. You go on there, you pick out whatever meats you want, you type in the promo code Shuli, you get 10% off your order. Order something, try it. You can't screw this up unless you just leave it on there overnight. All the meat is aged 21 days. You know what that's going to cost you to get at a steak place? Night on the town, babysitter, parking. Forget about it. Order it. Get it right to your door. Make it yourself. Feed it to the missus. And when she tastes this meat, deal closer, baby. Mariano Rivera coming out the bullpen. It's a wrap. So check out Rustic Cuts. rusticcutscb.com. They're the sponsor for Thanks for Coming Out. And we want to thank them for coming out. And make sure you use the promo code Shuli and you'll get 10% off. Now, back to the show.
woman.
We got to tell the Honest John story about the all black male strip club.
We told it on the episode, on
Yeah.
maybe even the previous episode,
Yeah,
or one of them. But we have him here.
we so at Honest John's on Tuesday nights before the open mic, I believe, was all male strip team called the Black Stallions.
And then Saturday after,
Yes, and then Saturday after. And
they were the main event. We were the warm up on the weekend.
yeah, and apparently one of them had caught Potter on stage doing. Potter used to do another great bit. Potter used to do Stu Morrison,
Yes.
Jim Morrison's cousin, who sings children's songs.
And the name Stu is fucking hilarious.
Stu's hilarious.
To put with that's Jim Morrison's cousin.
Yeah,
Stu.
and he sounded just like him, and he would just
He'd wear shades.
do a little wheels on the bus for us, Stu.
Wheels on the bus go round and round. Yeah, all right, let's get our kicks on before the whole shit house goes up in flames. All right, all right. And I'd freak out on stage. Yeah.
So he's doing this bit, and he's doing Morrison, and one of Morrison's lines was, "You're all a bunch of fucking slaves," right?
Which, if you're all rock fans, you just know that that's something he would say at a show.
Right.
But if you are
African,
African American fellas who don't know who the fuck the Doors are,
if you're booking the Black Stallions,
Yeah.
and I forget the guy's name, but I believe it was just a letter, and he goes, I want to say D or something.
or
like-
Truth. Wasn't there a dude named Truth?
Well, truth is, I was scared shitless, and he comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, your buddy?"
What time should I head down there?
He's like, "Hey, your buddy? Hey, make sure he doesn't say anything about fucking slaves up there tonight, all right?"
Oh God.
And I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." And I go to Potter. I'm like, "Hey, listen, dude, you see that huge fucking guy over there?" I'm like, "Don't say slaves tonight."
Which
Do
is
Stu
always
Morrison.
the worst thing to say to a comedian.
Yeah, I'm like, "Do Stu Morrison." I'm like, "Don't say." And he's like, "Yeah, no problem. I got it. And he goes up there and he starts doing Stu Morrison. And sure enough, he turns the reverb and the echo up even louder to make sure they hear. He goes, "You're all a bunch of fucking slaves." And I just have this nervous smile. And I just look over and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm dead. I'm fucking dead."
Yeah, you can't tell a comic not to do something. It's
No.
basically saying, please do it and do it louder and more obnoxiously.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
I remember that Doug Stanhope was huge back in those days. I think pretty much every single one of us would open for him. There'd be like 6 comics that would open for Stanhope before he went on, but we'd get free drinks, while we're hanging out. So I'm on coke, I think, before I go up before Stanhope, and I totally drunk. I go up on stage and I tip the mic stand over, and I catch the lead base of the mic stand with my foot, and I push it down on the stage, and it hits me on the eyebrow.
Oh
It
God.
just splits my head open. I just stay up on stage with blood dripping out of my head. Just blood
God.
all over, just dripping all
How
over
long
the
were you on
stage.
stage? Bleeding.
That was probably a 10-minute act right there. 10-minute bit. Just bleeding. for
Gushing
comedy.
like a old Southern wrestler.
I love it. That is Potter to a T, my friend.
Does Stanhope say anything to you when you get off stage? And you're
You
bleeding
said
all over?
that's the most awesome fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. And he said, "I'll never forget it." And I had changed my shirt. I went to my car. I had an old shirt in the car. I changed it. I came back. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I had blood all over my shirt. I had to change it." He's like, "Go back and put that shirt on and don't take it off for the rest of the night. That's the most awesome thing I've ever seen in my life."
Wow.
Love it. Man's man right there.
That's right.
Stanhope. The other thing I used to love about Potter is just me and him would just hang out and film shit on his his high 8 camera, and we have so many dumb sketches and dumb bits that we've filmed throughout the years that he sent me all those. So we got to put all those on tier 2
Oh, I
as
love
well.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, Mike. Was there ever a time, because you're very fearless, as we said, that you felt uncomfortable or unsafe, or you're on stage going, I hope this ends soon, or that you feel that you crossed a line and someone was going to do something to you?
Never in Vegas, but the gig I had at the Improv in Arizona, I couldn't wait to get off that stage. It was a packed crowd, opening for Kathleen Madigan. There's 500 people there, biggest crowd I've ever had doing comedy. And there's only one table of 4 people that got my humor, that got my act. There were the only 4 people laughing. So
Well,
I'm
she's
like,
very like Midwest, down, like no cursing, right? For the most part.
yeah, it was totally
Families
clean.
love her.
It screwed up my whole act, my 20-minute act, by going through editing it and taking stuff out that I couldn't talk about. I'm now down to 10 minutes, and I still got a 20-minute act to do.
Oh my God!
Yeah. I keep looking up, and I'm like, did I get the light yet? Did I miss seeing the light? And I ended up getting off stage 4 minutes early, and I'm opening up for. They had me open before Chuck Roy. Chuck Roy went on. He had been like on some TV shows, so everybody knew who he was. And then I go on, and I just bombed horribly. It was just horrible.
So you were hosting?
They made me host after that. After that, Kathleen Madigan came up to me, and she's like, "So who got you this gig?"
Oh no!
Wow.
Oh yeah.
And she's
then
also
after
a
that-
stickler for time.
Yeah.
She's a Midwest person. She I've heard her in interviews. She times herself on stage, and if you hire her to headline for an hour, at 59 minutes, she starts saying goodnight. She is strict. You do your time, and that's it. So she must have lost her fucking lid with you.
Yeah, I was there for 2 nights, so I ended up hosting. No, it was a three day. I was up there for 3 days, and I hosted the other 2 shows. So I did my act, tried to do the 20-minute, and at the last minute, I changed into Phillip Belmont. I was going to do Mikey, and I was like, okay, I'm sure I'll be able to get away, with my intro with, hi, my name's Mikey. If you smell something funny, that's me, because I'm the shit. But they said, no, you can't do it. You can't say shit. You can't say fuck. You can't do any of this. And I was like, well, if I can't do my opener, I'm not doing Mikey. They're not getting Mikey.
Right.
So the last minute, I changed and did Phillip Belmont, and it went over horrible.
Explain who that is.
Phillip Belmont was the British rock god who gets exposed at the end of the act
For not being British.
Yeah, for not being British. I yell at the stagehand. The stagehand takes off my wig, tells me I'm not even
It was
British.
such a funny, because he comes out with the British accent, and it's a good British accent, but there are definitely people go, this isn't real. But his commitment to him.
Yeah.
By the time you're halfway through his act, you go, all right, this fucking guy's British. And then at the end, he's like, what the fuck, dude? And he's like yelling at the sound guy in perfect English. It's so fucking funny. He loves pulling the fucking table out from under you. He loves it.
Because you think if someone's doing a fake act, after 2 minutes, they're going to stop doing it.
Yeah, the gag was I'm acting like I'm playing guitar, but it's pre-recorded music in the background. So during this crazy Judas Priest guitar solo, the stagehand comes up and plugs the guitar in and ruins
I remember
it.
Yes. It was usually me or you
Jason a lot.
or Jason, and you would just he's jamming on his guitar and people are going nuts, and then somebody plugs it in right in front of the audience.
And that's when you would snap.
I take my hands off, the music's still going. It's like, what are you doing? You don't get it, do you? You see, the idea is they're supposed to think I'm a really great freaking guitar player, right? And you come up on stage with the chord in your hand, and you just freaking blew it, man. I know you think you're trying to help me out here, but you're really making me fucking look bad. You piece of shit.
And then Jason would curse you back out, right?
Big shock.
Oh, you pull your wig off, and he go, "You're not even fucking British," and he throw it at you. And then then what was your line after that?
After that, I would say, I may not be British, but I do have some CDs for sale.
That's right.
If anyone's interested, I got Pantera, Far Beyond Driven. It's scratched. I'll let it go for $1. Let me see. Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy. It's chipped. I'll let it go for 50 cents. The Jim Morrison, the Doors, greatest hits, and that opened the discs up, and there's no discs in there. The CDs aren't even in there. There's not even in here.
It's not even in here. I'll
So
let it go
good.
for a quarter.
They're so nonchalant too. It's not even in here.
Not selling my own CDs, old used scratch CDs.
So you end up your last night at the Tempe Improv with Kathleen Madigan, who's upset. You're now hosting. You did that character to MC.
I did Potter, Michael Potter, just as myself when I hosted that.
You
show.
did end up doing that instead of Tremont.
Instead of
So I did-
Belmont.
yeah,
Belmont.
Kathleen said I did a better job hosting than I did my act. And I was trying to, do jokes for her, and she was like, "Oh, wow!" And the hits just keep coming. I'm
No,
like, before I'm done with this, I'm gonna make this lady laugh. So at the end of the show, she's selling these elaborate, like $35 DVD Kathleen met perfectly packaged, professionally done, and I stand next to her trying to sell my homemade CDs
oh no.
that I
Oh,
burned
no.
on my computer that I signed like all the bits with a Sharpie on it. I'm trying to get rid of these things for $5, and I'm standing right next to her.
Next to her, she's selling her merch as the headline. Did she
and,
go
and
fucking
doing
bananas?
autographs.
Did she
And
lose
doing
it?
autographs.
Yeah.
What's that?
Did she get mad at you?
No, she looked at me and started laughing her ass off. It was
Finally,
great.
you got her. God damn.
Yeah.
Look
He's
at
just
you.
being him. He's just being him. That's one thing. With the exception of going on stage, always be you. On stage, go on to somebody else. I remember when you got banned from the beach night
Oh,
in
my-
Vegas.
I didn't know she was a feminist.
Well,
And,
it's not she was a feminist. She worked with
At a shelter.
abused women in a shelter, and
Oh.
Potter, and that was the night Potter went up as Potter.
Yeah.
He didn't go up as a character, and he had just had a nasty breakup, and he was in a
Get anger.
he was angry, and he made a comment about women, and she looked at me and walked right over to me. She goes, "He's never playing here again." And I'm
I
like,
said,
"What the
it
fucking deal?"
was right after I broke up with Heidi after a year. So I was really bitter towards women. And I think the line was, you know what? I'm starting to realize why guys rape women. And it
Jesus
was
Christ, Mike.
over after that. I was banned from the beach.
I think we're over after that too. I think.
Hey, listen, the guy wasn't asking for votes. He was at a comedy
Oh, my
club.
God.
Everybody relax.
I remember.
Guy's working through his pain. We couldn't
Yeah.
afford therapy.
I
got
remember
banned.
I would host a lot, and she would tell me specifically, you could put on one or two people. Not if I find out you put on Mike, we're gonna have problems.
Yeah, this is the same salt of the earth that was like, "I'll pay you $50." And then when the show's over, she goes, "Go around with a hat and go beg
Yeah.
for money." I'm like, I bet you fucking fuck off.
She also stole jokes. She did like George Carlin jokes from specials
Yeah.
in her monologues. Yeah.
All those fuckers over there. The homeless broad who wouldn't let me up because I wasn't wearing jeans.
You were, yeah.
Or
you were
because I
wearing dress
was in
pants.
jeans.
Yeah.
I was in jeans, not in dress pants.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yourself. These losers.
What were we gonna say, Mike? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Who was it? What Lori Hughes ended up taking over that beach show, and then I could start performing there again.
Mm-hmm.
I got banned from Stanford's Comedy House
In
here
Missouri?
in Kansas City. They banned me over there. I talked to a magician. I was like, I want to go on as Mikey, but I want to make it look like I'm gonna pee my pants. So
Right.
I got the khakis going on, and it's one of those ear beakers that you
Yeah.
get wax out of, and I put it under my armpit with a hose going down, and it would go through my pants,
Look
and
at
then I
this.
would just squeeze it with my armpit, and it made me look like I peed my pants on stage. Well, I'm at Stanford's, and I pull that off, and there's water, a little bit of water, and I talked to the manager before. I was like, "There's gonna get a little bit of water on stage." He's like, "Yeah, that's fine." So a little bit of water's on stage. This guy goes on after me. He's like, "Is this really urine on the stage right now?" And I'm sticking with character. I said, "Yeah, it's really piss up there." So they said I disrespected the stage and got banned from Stanford's Comedy House.
I mean, and who would really use fucking piss? I mean,
Yeah.
let's be adults here.
they said,
But of course, you would tell them that you're a comedian.
They said I disrespected the stage and I was never allowed to perform there again.
Oh my
Good.
god!
So that was
Good.
two
I'm
comedy
gonna book a
clubs
show
banned
there
from-
and take a shit on their stage.
That's
What do you
right.
think of that?
I'm gonna book myself as Bobby the Pisser and see what they think about that. To spite them. What's your closer? I don't know. Why don't you read my name?
I'm trying to think of all the characters that I can remember. There was Belmont. There was
The
Tryhawk.
Kookster. That was his
Kookster,
the
prop,
Kookster.
the prop
Kookster.
comic.
who I requested to
Rock
do my birthday party. There was no mic. It was in the house I lived. And I go, shut up, everybody. We have a special goddamn guest. And people are just trying to get drunk and fuck people in the back. And my buddy's like, no, we don't want no goddamn comedy. I go, fuck it. You're going to like the Kookster no matter what. And I bring you up, and in front of my couch, you do like 10 minutes as the Kookster.
What
I
about
remember at, the Freaking Frog, I went on as the chemical lab professor who just had a really creepy voice.
Is that Lenny Leonard?
No, Lenny Leonard was the Special Olympics gold medalist.
That's right. Which is funny because you got Lenny on the Miserable Men show. I was thinking about that the other day, and there's this whole, calling him Lenny or Leonard, and there's a big fight in that, and that brought back memories of when I did that character, Lenny Leonard.
I think you should come on next week. Next episode is Lenny Leonard.
Perfect.
Bring back the hits, baby.
Bring back the hits. But yeah, Lenny Leonard was a fun character where he was a mentally challenged comic, and
with a big, huge pecker. Remember that?
Yeah, he stuffed his little fucking bell-bottom pants with like a foot-long salami.
You mean a pilly packer?
A pilly packer, and he his opening line was, "My dad's an addicted gambler. My mom is sick. We're gonna lose our house." And then he goes, "Your shirt's blue." And I'm in the back of the freaking Frog. He's up there. He's got a helmet on, capri pants with a huge cock. And this guy in the back goes, "Let's get out of here." And I go, no, you got to see the end. I go, "The end's going to be great." And he looks at me and he goes, "My brother's special needs." I go, "Yeah, you guys should get out of here." I go, "You go ahead. The end's only going to upset you more."
Did fellow comics ever blow back on you? Did you ever have any beef because of a character you did with comics?
A lot of comics in Kansas City had a problem with me because they never knew if I was being myself or if I was doing a character.
They've never met anyone like you. They don't.
Yeah.
You're an anomaly to them. We've known you forever, and we still are blown away by you. And
none of the comics in Kansas City wanted to follow me.
Right.
Well, I mean, who the fuck would? Let's be blunt.
And that screwed up a lot of stage time for me. They're like, "Oh, I'm not. Is Potter here tonight? I'm not, or Potter or Lenny Leonard or whatever the hell this guy is. What the hell is going on?"
You should close shows or be an attraction where they put you in the middle and then the host has to go do 5-10 minutes to reset.
Yeah.
But you're such a unique powerhouse. I mean, I get it. I don't think I liked following you. I think I was like, yeah, I'll host tonight. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, I find that regardless of what I have to do, go before him or follow him, I find that I just always have to watch him.
Well, because he's going to do something, and to not address it or be present, even following him, you're nuts.
And also, nobody's going to do what he does.
Not a chance.
So I'm going to see something completely original and different. You're one of a kind, dude. I hope you know that.
It was fun being just experimenting with doing different characters.
Well,
I remember
don't ever
when
lose that. Regardless of the stage time, there will be stage time. You're passionate about it, you still love it, and you're fucking gonna start doing it again regularly. I know you are. And you do it like nobody I've ever met before. We used to do radio on AM. Out in Vegas, used to rent time to do an AM radio show, and we had on Kevin Regan once, Brian Regan's brother.
Was it Dennis?
Or Dennis Regan, right? And he had just did a comedy album, and it was myself, Potter, and our other guy Jason. And Jason was a big Regan fan,
loved him,
and his brother being there was a huge deal. And Potter being Potter, just decides in the middle of this interview, he hasn't really chimed in with anything, and he just goes, picks up Dennis's CD, and he goes, "Is this yours? You made this?" And Dennis says, "Yeah." And he goes, "Shit, get it out of here." He goes, "It's garbage." And he throws it across the room. And it's funny. I start laughing immediately because I know he's kidding. I think Dennis was laughing, but the show ends, and we're walking to go get stoned, I think at my place or Jason's place, and Jason turns to Potter and he goes, "Don't ever do that again to a guest." And I think you had pointed your finger at him or something when you guys were arguing. He goes, "And don't ever put your finger in my face again." And Potter and Jason is like ready to fight at the drop.
He's like a black belt in 3 different things. Is serious. He put me in wrestling moves and I'd cry.
Yeah,
the guy's wild. Dude.
He's like me and Potter put together physically. Like he's a big guy. Potter and I are tiny. And he goes, "Don't ever put your finger in my face." I'll never forget. Potter puts his finger and runs it down his nose. And he goes like this, and I'm going, I'm gonna watch this kid die. I go, I'm gonna watch this kid die in front of me. And Jason just shook his head and was like, I don't know what to make of this. I don't know what to do.
If I would have done that to him, I wouldn't be here right now. I would have been dead.
Julie, didn't you say once you went over to Jason's house and he's like, yeah, come on in. And you said he was in the splits, twirling
like Van
nunchucks.
Damme.
Oh
like Van Damme. He was in between. He had 2 chairs set up, and he's got, you know, like, and he's doing nunchucks. And I'm like, all right, I'll wait outside, dude. Sounds good. Yeah, it's intimidating. But listen, I wouldn't change a thing about the Vegas years, man. I loved every second of every minute of it, even the shit times.
Yeah,
I got to hang with you and with him and with all our crew out there, and we will do it again. I love you, brother. You are a one of a kind, and we got to do bonus episodes where we review all your shit, man. All these videos from the past. I think that would kill.
I want to see the Tri-Hawk shit, man.
I got a box full of those old comedy demo stuff. All of us used to do. I got the original VHS copy of No Laughing Matter. Shuli gave that to me. We should play that some night.
Definitely a tier. I don't know. Maybe we make a tier 3 and we release No Laughing Matter.
It's a tier of a clown.
Yeah.
No Laughing Matter was a short film we made.
Spinal Tap influenced.
Yes, about 3 open micers who enter a contest to get a chance to appear on the Leno show. And each of us played different comics. Potter played this acid fucking riddled prop comic.
Yeah.
Kookster.
You're
a rope swing.
I was rope swing, a misogynist who did all spousal abuse humor, but was really pussy whipped off stage. And Jason did impressions, and he was and you were our agent. You
was a pedophile, I believe, but we only barely put that in.
Yeah. And the acting in it, like there's a scene that Potter, I will watch it every time, and I will laugh watching the scene just like I laugh in the scene. I cannot keep my shit together around him because he's so fucking funny. We definitely have to put that out at some point as well.
Wow, baby, wow.
The Grammy moment scene of me having my meltdown in the bathroom. Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. And I was trying to calm you.
Yeah, I don't know how you kept it together, James, because I was losing my shit.
Julie has it. I forgot. One of the ongoing jokes. I forgot to take off that tie-dyed trench coat
and show your outfit.
You hadn't seen what I was wearing underneath it yet. And, you see, Shuli couldn't keep his shit together. It was the first time he saw me in that stupid lime green and white 70s album, just starts busting.
He goes, I forgot to take off the coat. And he opens it up, and it's like the Partridge Family under that coat. It was fucking hilarious.
We were filming till like 6 a.m. at my local bar.
How about the guerrilla footage we did where we just went up as these comics at an open mic? We didn't tell anybody. The audience wasn't in on it. And we just went up as these characters, and all of us bombed horribly. And you got great footage of the audience of just them like, yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
Because he just made these fuckers up.
Yeah, it was great. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this episode.
We love you, Mikey.
I love you, Mikey.
Miss you all.
Miss you too, buddy. And hey, Mikey.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for coming out, Mikey.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for coming out. It's been a great show.
You, the great Michael Potter, everybody.
Thank you very much. Good night.
All right, this was a good episode.
Fuck it.
Long story short,
he failed. God damn it. Yes, misery loves company, my boy.
Thanks for coming out. Boom.
Thanks for coming out, baby. Thanks for coming out.
Hey. Thanks for coming out.
Are we under attack?
Thanks for coming out. Fuck, that bad?
Thanks for coming out.
I'm in. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah. Oh, that was unprofessional.
Thanks for coming out, ladies and gentlemen. The bomb is the bomb.